There are few things that capture public attention more quickly than a royal mystery. When a future queen disappears from public view, even for a few hours, speculation spreads rapidly. Questions emerge. Rumors begin. Every detail is examined. And that is exactly what happened when reports surfaced claiming that Princess Leonor left the palace under unusual circumstances late at night. Almost immediately, social media exploded with theories. Was it an emergency? A private family matter? An important royal mission? Or was there something much more personal behind the quiet departure? While official sources remained silent, the story quickly became one of the most discussed royal topics in Spain. But the truth behind this fascination may reveal something far more important than a single evening. It may reveal the challenges Princess Leonor faces as she prepares to become queen. Because behind every headline is a young woman attempting to balance two very different lives. One belongs to the crown. The other belongs to herself. And sometimes those two worlds collide in unexpected ways. To understand why this story has generated so much attention, it's important to understand who Leonor has become over the past few years. For much of her childhood, the public saw her primarily as a royal daughter. She attended official events. She appeared beside her parents. She fulfilled ceremonial duties expected of a future monarch. But today, everything is different. Leonor is no longer simply the little girl Spaniards watched growing up. She is now actively preparing for her future role as queen. Her military training, official appearances, international responsibilities, and growing public profile have transformed her into one of Europe's most closely watched young royals. With that increased attention comes an unavoidable reality. Privacy becomes increasingly difficult. Even routine moments can become major news stories. A private dinner, a personal visit, a family gathering, any of these events can suddenly become national headlines if a royal is involved. That's why stories involving secret movements often generate such intense curiosity. People naturally assume that secrecy means significance. But royal life is often more complicated than that. Many activities involving members of the royal family occur without public announcements. Security concerns alone frequently require discretion. Planning, transportation, and personal safety are always major considerations. Particularly for someone as important as Princess Leonor. Still, the idea of a quiet nighttime departure captured public imagination. And perhaps that's because it fits into a larger narrative people have been watching unfold. The story of a young woman gradually stepping out from behind palace walls. Over the past several years, Leonor has shown increasing independence. Her education abroad demonstrated a willingness to experience life beyond royal surroundings. Her military training placed her in environments far removed from palace comfort. Her public speeches revealed confidence and maturity beyond her years. Each milestone has moved her closer toward adulthood, closer toward responsibility, closer toward the future that awaits her. And with each step, public interest has grown. People want to know who Leonor really is. Not just the future queen, but the person. What does she think? What does she feel? What concerns her? What dreams does she have beyond royal duty? These questions fuel fascination whenever unusual stories emerge, including reports of a discreet departure from the palace. Some observers believe such moments reflect Leonor's determination to maintain a connection with normal life. That may sound simple, but for someone in her position, normality can be surprisingly difficult to achieve. Imagine living under constant observation. Imagine knowing that every public appearance could generate thousands of headlines. Imagine understanding that your future has already been mapped out years in advance. Most people never experience that level of scrutiny. Leonor lives with it every day. As a result, even small opportunities for privacy can become deeply valuable. Moments spent with family, conversations with trusted friends, time away from public expectations. These experiences help create balance. And balance may be one of the most important lessons her parents have tried to teach her. King Felipe and Queen Letizia have long been praised for attempting to provide their daughters with as normal an upbringing as possible under extraordinary circumstances. They understand the pressures associated with royal life. Both know how easily public duty can overshadow personal well-being. Because of this, many royal commentators believe they have encouraged Leonor to develop a strong sense of self outside her future role as monarch. That guidance may explain why she often appears grounded despite intense attention. It may also explain why stories involving private activities resonate so strongly with the public. People sense there is more to Leonor than official engagements and ceremonial appearances. They see glimpses of a young woman navigating the same emotions and challenges faced by many people her age. The difference is that she does so while carrying the expectations of an entire nation. And that burden is significant. Every future monarch faces moments of uncertainty. Questions about identity, questions about purpose, questions about balancing personal happiness with public responsibility. Leonor is no exception. In fact, some royal experts argue that today's heirs face even greater challenges than previous generations. Modern media never stops. Social networks create constant visibility. Public expectations evolve rapidly. The ability to maintain privacy becomes increasingly limited. Against that backdrop, any private movement naturally attracts attention. But perhaps the more meaningful question is not why Leonor may have left the palace. Perhaps the real question is why people care so deeply. The answer likely lies in what she represents. For many Spaniards, Leonor symbolizes continuity. She represents the future of the monarchy. A new generation stepping forward. A bridge between tradition and modernity. Every stage of her development feels important because it offers clues about what kind of queen she may eventually become. Will she be formal or approachable? Traditional or innovative? Reserved or outspoken? These questions shape public interest in nearly every aspect of her life, including stories that might otherwise seem ordinary. A quiet departure, a private visit, an evening away from public view. For most people, such events would pass unnoticed. For a future queen, they become national conversation. Yet there is another side to this story, one often overlooked amid the speculation. Leonor's growing independence is actually a positive sign. Future leaders must eventually learn to make decisions on their own. They must develop confidence. They must gain experiences beyond carefully managed environments. If Leonor is doing exactly that, it may indicate that her preparation is working. She is becoming comfortable with responsibility, comfortable with adulthood, comfortable with the realities of life beyond royal protection. And those experiences will likely serve her well in the years ahead. Because one day, the training will end. The preparation will be complete. The future queen will become queen. When that day arrives, Spain will expect leadership, judgment, strength, wisdom, qualities that cannot be developed through ceremonies alone. They emerge through life experience, through personal growth, through moments both public and private. Perhaps that is why stories like this continue to fascinate people. Not because of the mystery itself, but because they offer a glimpse into a larger journey. The transformation of Princess Leonor from royal heir into future monarch. A transformation taking place not only in grand public events but also in quiet, unseen moments. Moments away from cameras, away from official schedules, away from public expectations. Whether the reports of a secret palace departure were dramatic or entirely ordinary may ultimately matter less than many people assume. What matters is what the story represents. A young woman growing into her role. A future queen discovering her own path. A royal life that remains human despite extraordinary circumstances. And perhaps that is the real reason this story refuses to fade. Because behind the mystery is a truth that resonates far beyond royalty. No matter how important someone's future may be, every person still needs moments of privacy. Moments of freedom, moments to simply be themselves. Princess Leonor may be preparing for a crown, but she is also preparing for life. And sometimes, the most important journeys happen when no one is watching. As the speculation continues and royal watchers search for answers, one thing remains clear. The future Queen of Spain is entering a new chapter. A chapter defined not only by duty and tradition but also by independence, growth, and self-discovery. And whether she left the palace for an important reason or an ordinary one, the fascination surrounding that decision proves just how closely the world is watching. Because every step Princess Leonor takes today brings her one step closer to the throne she will someday inherit. And every step tells a story.